Right, okay, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today is my match reaction to Real Madrid 2-0 against us. So, yeah, let's just get into it. So, I think to start off with, obviously, both teams weren't great really for me. Both teams weren't too good. Real Madrid could definitely have been better for sure. I just think, obviously, luckily they weren't better. I wish they was, but yeah, but I think both teams played well. We definitely didn't play that well. I mean, we lacked everything. There was just no bite. We didn't really have anything going forward. I mean, we had Felix and Sterling up front, and that's it. The wing backs weren't doing anything. Kante joined the attack early on the game, but late on didn't really join them at all. So you just had Felix and Sterling isolated, and obviously after Chilwell got sent off, Sterling came off anyway. So I mean, it got to the point where it was just Havertz up front. The whole game there wasn't much intensity, there wasn't much bite. We didn't do enough. And I felt like really, if we did go to push Madrid there the other day, I think we could have done a lot better because the atmosphere there didn't. The commentator was saying it wasn't that great, And I think sort of both teams suffered from it because it was just a bit of a dull. Both teams were just a bit dull, to be honest. Obviously, I think they were the better team. The better team did win. I think we're lucky we managed to only keep it to 2-0 because, while it's very, very, very unlikely 2-0 going back to the bridge, you never know what can happen. But yeah, both teams never really, there wasn't any sort of massive chances missed from both teams. We had a few chances, we didn't make much though. Madrid had Modric curled over the bar, would have been a hard finish. Silva made a goal line clearance, but apart from that, there just wasn't much happening. It wasn't necessarily a dull game, but just both teams weren't playing to the best of their abilities. As I said, going forward, we would just Felix and Sterling and Aaron Havertz, where they were just completely isolated. There was just nothing. Wing backs didn't do enough. Obviously, you got three centre mids: Kante, Kovacic, and Enzo. Two of them are traditionally CDMs, and one's a box-to-box. They just wasn't really any help for them up front the other day, so I think they sort of got stitched up a little bit with that. But at the same time, we showed potential. Like, we found a lot of space in behind. Felix had a chance early on from a through ball. There was a few through ball chances. There's a few times where we could have played someone through. We exploited a possible weakness in Madrid there, but we just didn't do it enough. And I think we tried to do too much of the ball as well. There was a few times where Kante could have been put for on goal. I think it was Sterling who just kept on running with it. And over the whole game, I think we were just trying to do too much of it, where we could have maybe found an easy pass there, instead of trying to dribble too much and losing it. Obviously, we were down to 10 men, red card. Chilwell, it was a wrong decision. It's a through ball. Kuka and Chilwell both are marking Rodrigo, and Chilwell, he's trying to go goal side of him, and he probably would have managed to go goal side of him, but he tugs his shirt. And while Rodrigo probably shouldn't go down, he wasn't like he was forced down. You tug a shirt, they're always going to go down no matter what. He's given them an easy foul, an easy red card, and the ref had no choice. It's the correct decision from the ref. It's just stupid from Chilwell. He has apologised, but it was just very, very stupid. You're almost goal side of him anyway. At some point, he's going to slow down because he's got to compose himself to take the shot. Kepa's coming out anyway. It was a bit of a needless tug, to be honest. And, that could have really cost us in the end. Luckily, in the end, it wasn't maybe as bad as we would have expected, but, it was very stupid. He has came out and apologised. And, leading on from that bad defending, both goals for the defending was dreadful again. Goal one, there was no mark or anything. Gave it to them on a plate. It was Vinicius who had the shot, where, someone should have done better. It was... You could say it was saved by Kepa, but went straight to Benzema, who was completely unmarked, and he just taps it in. You won't get much easier goals than that, tapping from that range in an open goal. Seen some people criticising Kepa, but I feel like that one's got to go more in the defence than the marking. The marking was non-existent, and that was the same for a lot of the game. The second goal, and it was, against Villa, I think I made this point after the Villa game, that for the John McGinn goal, there was no mark on the edge of the box. They gave him so much time to take a shot. Exact same again. Madrid have a corner, they pass it around a bit, they make us look like idiots, and then to the edge of the box, hit by Asensio, went through Cucurella's legs. Kepa should have saved it. No one was getting out to the edge of the box in time. You can't give someone like Asensio that amount of time on the edge of the box to have a shot. You can't do it, because he will find the back of the net. He shouldn't have, to be fair. Kepa should have saved that. I know Someone said he was onside, went through Cucurella's legs. Kepa should be saving that. I don't care. You should be able to dive down to your front post and save that. Yeah, just disappointing again. So you got to get out to the box there. And Kepa probably should have saved it. Well, he almost definitely should have saved it. So that's a disappointing one. There was nothing in the performance. There was no bite. There was no nothing. And a lot like the game against Wolves, there just wasn't anything there. I don't think the 3-5-2 works because it just isolates the attackers. I think if you're going for three at the back, it's probably 3-4-3. I know you've got three world-class midfielders in Kante, Kovacic and Enzo, but I think you've got to sacrifice one of them for it to work because you end up you're isolating your attack. Just going to player ratings then, don't for Kepa, I'm going to give him a 5. As I said, I think he should have saved the second goal. His passing out from the back wasn't great either, to be honest. Wesley Fofana, it's also going to be a 5. It maybe could have been a bit lower. He really struggled against Vinicius. And I will defend him a bit because he wasn't helped out, and I'll get into that in a bit. But yeah, he really struggled against Vinicius, so it hasn't really like himself in the past 2 games at all. Thiago Silva, I'm going to give him a 6, I think. Obviously, his first game back from injury, having to mark Benzema. He cleared him off the line. He probably should have done a bit better with marking, with especially the first goal. But, you know, it was his first game back. He wasn't too bad. He didn't make any massive mistakes. I mean, you know, there's 3 centre-backs. You know, at least one of you should be on Benzema. So you maybe had to take some of the blame for that, though. Koulibaly with him 6. He looked quite good until he came off injured. Yeah, he did look quite good. Obviously, shame he got injured. I mean, he got injured sprinting. Hamstring. Hopefully it's okay. We don't know. We haven't heard any updates so far. He tried playing on for a bit, but you know, he couldn't be. He made a few right tackles. He wasn't too bad. Reece James, I'm giving a 4. He may as well have bought a ticket and watched the game in the stands because he did nothing. He didn't do anything going forward. Definitely didn't do anything going back, and this is why I spare a bit of sympathy for Fofana. James just didn't do anything. James has to be helping Fofana with Vinicius. He sees he's struggling. If he sees Fofana gets booked early on, he's got to come back and he's got to help him. Nothing. He wasn't. No sprinting back. No sprinting forward. You know, there's one point where he could have gone for an easy overlap and tried to get a chance to put in the box. None of that. He wasn't sprinting back at all. Just wasn't open the team. He was basically just stood on the halfway line the whole game. It's pointless. Absolutely pointless. Just no help at all out there last night. So yeah, 4 for James. Enzo Fernandez can give him 6. He played some really nice passes, actually, for Enzo. I'd say, you guys know I'm a massive fan of him. Played some really nice passes, that's it, really. Kante, I would be tempted to give him a 7, but as you said, I'm going to go with a 6. Yeah, the start of the game looked really good. He looked really good at the start of the game, getting forward. But as the game went on, he started fading out a little bit. I think that's to be expected when you're coming back from injury. But yeah, it wasn't anything too bad from Kante. A solid performance when you're coming back from injury. Kovacic, I'm going to give him a 5. Once again, another player I'm a massive fan of. Just wasn't too great. He just wasn't in the game, really. Ben Chilwell, 4. I'll talk about the red card. Up until then, he wasn't really in the game either, at all. He in the leading up to the red card, he should have done better with marking. Same with someone else we'll get into in a second. Yeah, just wasn't really in the game, and obviously got sent off as well. João Felix, I'm going to give him a 5. I feel a bit of sympathy for the two up front because they were just isolated. Maybe he could have done a little bit better with the early on chance, but he was a bit outpaced. Didn't really have enough time to get close enough and get his shot underway. It's a bit of a harsh one. Apart from that, he was just isolated. The whole attack was isolated. Now he's gone to his strike partner, Raheem Sterling. He looked good early on. You know, good few dribbles. Once again, this game when he faded, he got subbed off. I think he was the one sacrificed after the Ben Chilwell red card. But yeah, just a disappointing performance from the attackers. But as I said, it's only so much you can, bash them for it because they were just isolated up front. There was no help at all. On to the subs, Cucurella, I'm going to give him a 5. Very mixed game against Cucurella. The reason why I'm giving a 5 is he should have done better with the red card. He should have done better marking. I think he got dragged out of position a few times. Obviously, he let the ball go over his legs for the goal. So, there was them few negatives. He made a good clearance during the game, but it wasn't much apart from that. He actually made a quite nice run, to be fair, as well. So, as I said, a bit of a mixed game for Cucurella. So maybe a 5 was harsh. Could have been a 6. Havertz 6 just wasn't. I mean, if you think 2 up front was isolated, there was no point having him on because he was only 1 up front. And as I said, none of your wing backs are helping you. Your 3 midfielder or CDMs or more defensively minded players. so they didn't help you. So he was just isolated. I mean, he couldn't do anything. Chalobah was a 6, he didn't really do anything either. Gallagher and Mount were also 6, they both came on ridiculously late. Well, not ridiculous, they both came on late. Mount, he did have a chance, Mason Mount, it was well blocked by Rudiger. Shame, because that could have been a goal, and it would have been a massive goal for his confidence as well. But so yeah, that's it for today. A frustrating one to take, but an expected one nonetheless. On the weekend, obviously, we go again as per usual. We have got Brighton at home, so yeah, I'm sure that'll be a fun game. But yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.